Good morning. Just getting off of work, and there's something that's been on my mind. This video basically is in response to the cowardly attacks that have been taking place on Muslim women throughout the world over the past weekend. But there's one particular story that's been on my mind the entire night. There was a Muslim woman in Paris, and she was attacked by two men, and they tore her veil off, they cut her hair, and during this cowardly attack, she was pleading with them, telling us she was pregnant. And then they proceeded to kick her in her stomach. I have not been able to get that image out of my imagination since I read about it. And the fury and rage that is inside of me at this moment. This woman lost her baby. She was 4 months pregnant and lost her baby because of these cowards decided, because of what happened in Paris, they believe that anybody who's Muslim is a potential target. Why they believe this, I don't know. I don't even care. Because it's ridiculous. I want to use some other choice words, but I'm not going to. But to attack a woman, I don't care what religion you're in, what religion you are. That is unacceptable. Totally and completely 100% unacceptable. These two cowards kicked this woman in her stomach until she lost her child. Because these people are stupid enough to believe that this isolated attack in Paris, basically all Muslims everywhere are responsible for it. Now, does that make any sense? When we look throughout history of all the atrocities that have taken place against people of different faiths or different ethnic group, did we look at did we look at the perpetrators and think that the people who also were of the same ethnic group as them or the same religion as them were responsible? And the thing about it is the media is making it worse. The media is making it worse because every time you turn on the TV, every time the news comes on, all you keep hearing is terror, terror, terror. Now this whole thing in Brussels about there's something going down in Brussels. Right here in the States, they got New York City locked down. Well, not exactly locked down, but there's police and military everywhere. They're running simulations through the subways. This is what they're doing to try to keep you afraid. And your fear is driving you to do the very thing that these people are doing. You're becoming a terrorist. You are becoming a terrorist. When you see an innocent person because you believe that they're a Muslim or that their religion is Islam and you attack them, that makes you a terrorist. You are no different than ISIS, than Al-Qaeda, than Hamas or Hezbollah or any of these the Ku Klux Klan, because they're a terrorist group as well. Nobody wants to seem to talk about that, though. Nobody wants to talk about the KKK are the biggest terrorists in American history. How many people have they killed? Black people, okay? Because that's the only people they attack. Or anybody who is, or blacks or Jews. They are the biggest terrorists in American history. All they do is promote hate. How are they even allowed to even exist today? How many pictures and movies have we seen? How many pictures? How many accounts have we seen where black people were hung? Lynchings were like a Sunday event. People used to have picnics where they would say, hang black people. The Ku Klux Klan is still alive in 2015. Why is nobody talking about them? They're terrorists. They promote hate. They preach hate. The people out there in America or wherever you are, because this is addressed to the world. I don't care, I'm putting this on YouTube as a public video because I want everyone to see this. Because the one thing that as Muslims, yes, we are peaceful. We will never be aggressors because God tells us not to. But we also don't turn the other cheek as well. So when you think that you could put your filthy hands on our ladies, you are sadly mistaken. You are sadly mistaken. Because God says in the Holy Quran that women are his gems and they are to be treated accordingly. In Islam, women have more rights than anyone else. Than anyone else. It says that paradise lies at the foot of the mother. At the mother. I'm going to relate what is called a hadith, which is basically the way of the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him. A man came to him and said, Ya Rasulullah, who am I to obey? Who comes first? He said, your mother. And then he said, okay, and then who? He said, your mother, a second time. And they said, and then after her, and he said, your mother. 3 times he said, your mother. And they said, then your father, and so on and so forth. Was basically stating that the importance of the mother, she's the most important. She's the most important one. So in Islam, we uphold our women in the utmost honor, respect, and dignity. So when you think that you can see one of our ladies as a target, you better think twice. You better think twice. Because if we know who you are, we're coming for you. We are coming for you. We are coming for you. This message is to all the Muslim men in the world. We must protect our ladies. We are in the time that we're in right now. We should be escorting our ladies to wherever they need to go. We should have a male presence with them so that basically to deter any further cowardly attacks by people who call themselves men. You're not a man. You're not a man. If you could see a woman or a woman with a child, there was a woman with a child in New York City. A man is attacking her, calling her all sorts of names. She runs into a store where it's run by some Muslims and the brothers in there kick the man out the store. When we hear these stories, of this Islamophobia, I witnessed it firsthand. I remember. It was in 2001, right after 9/11. 2 days after 9/11, me and some of the young men in our community went to New York City to assist with relief efforts. And we was at a specific place where we were setting up to go to the different places around the city to assist in the hospitals with the Red Cross or wherever we was needed. We are basically making ourselves available to help out. And I was standing there and I seen a Muslim woman. She was pushing her stroller. And this woman just walks by, a complete stranger, and just calls her a bitch. Just walks by her and calls her that. And I was stunned because this is the first time I've actually witnessed what we call now Islamophobia. This is the first I actually witnessed this. And I was so stunned, I didn't recover enough to say something to the woman before she was already gone. But the next thing, the Muslim woman who was pushing her stroller, she just kept walking. She didn't react, she just kept walking. And the one thing I thought was, before this woman reaches her destination, wherever it was, where it was going to be, how much more of this would she have to endure? So, you know, for all these Americans who were so fearful of Muslims and Islam, I mean, if Muslims were so dangerous, we would have attacked you a long time ago. We are your friends. We are your neighbors. We are your co-workers. We're not the enemy. We're not the enemy. But the media has got you afraid. They keep constantly pushing these terror plots. Terror this, terror this, terror this. Keep pushing it in your face. And you keep falling for it every time. But regardless of your fear, why do you believe that it is okay to attack innocent people because of your fear? What makes you any different than these people out there who are causing terror in the world? You're causing terror right here at home. So you're no better than they are. But when for you men out there who think that you can see a Muslim woman, or any woman for that matter, and see her as a target, you are a coward. You are a coward. You are not a man. But when it comes to a Muslim woman, and because we hold a Muslim woman in such high esteem, we will not tolerate it. We will not tolerate it. And any other, we will not tolerate it. It's that simple. We won't tolerate it. You know, the media has people believing that as Muslim men, we treat our women like second-class citizens. We treat them like trash. They're not worth anything. That is absolutely not true. Okay? Because we have enough literature, Islamic literature, that says otherwise. As far as the etiquettes and how we live our life. Now, these people in the Middle East, in these different countries, who do treat women like this, who do treat women in such a derogatory way, that's not Islam. That's culturalism. A lot of people treat women the way they do because that's their culture. It was Islam. It was the birth of Islam that put a stop to a lot of this behavior. In old Arabia, it was a custom. The Arabian men used to bury their newborn baby girls alive because they were considered a burden to the family. They didn't carry the family name. They were considered a burden. So they would bury them alive. This was a custom in old Arabia. And when the Holy Quran was revealed, one of the very first verses that was revealed was basically condemning this practice. It speaks of the day of judgment. And one of the things it says, the female child who is buried alive will be asked why she was killed. It was Islam that put an end to this custom and also to the end of the derogatory treatment of women. When Islam basically spread throughout Arabia and throughout most of the world during that particular time. So we do not take lightly in any capacity when our women are viciously and cowardly, in a cowardly way, attacked for no reason at all. For no reason. For the simple fact is, you have a problem with Islam. Why don't you go and try attack us? Attack them. Try to attack them when we're with them. Try that and see what happens to you. This is not a threat. This is a promise. So, I know some may be wondering, well, it's obvious I'm angry. And I'm not going to hold my anger back. I'm not going to hold my anger back. Because it infuriates me when I think of my Muslim sisters out there who are being targeted. For the simple fact because they're Muslim. They didn't harm anyone. They didn't cause any trouble. They were minding their business. And cowards decided they wanted to make a target of them. We will not tolerate it. You will be in for a very rude awakening. If it happens and we find you And it's just that simple. For many of you who have sisters and mothers, wives, you would do the same exact thing. No man, I don't care what faith a woman is, no man has a right to put his hands on a woman, ever. Ever. I don't care if the man is married to her, whatever the case may be. But this Islamophobia has to cease. It has to stop. It's not doing you're not doing anybody any favors by continuing these hateful acts. It has to stop. Go in peace.